Hello. I am going live today to talk about book collaborations, specifically the joy and power that is available through them. And I did not ever set out with the idea of creating book collaborations. This was not, I'm a big strategic planner. I'm a big planner for years ahead. And this was definitely something that came out of 2020 that I never would have envisioned for myself unless the universe opened it up for me. And this is something that definitely has been the universe opening it up as a path for me to collaborate with other people on. So, what I want to do is talk just a little bit about what I've done and what Green Heart Living has done so far as book collaborations and printed books go. And then just talk about why they are so fun and joyous to be part of, meaningful. It's a spiritual practice to be part of a book collaboration, the way we do it, and to see what you can get out of it, either by participating as an author or leading your own book collaboration, because they're so life changing, transformative to be a part of any way that you play in them. So as I do this, if there are any specific questions that you have for me, please type them in the chat. I have some questions that I know I've received that I will respond to. So please reach out if there are any things that you want to know about a Green Heart Living book collaboration. So I've always been someone who wanted to write and be an author. When I was little, I remember typing on my grandma Betty Hill's typewriter that she had in her bedroom. I would play on that and type on that. Anytime I had a typewriter in front of me, I would play with it, right? We actually did have typewriters then. I can't remember when we got computers. We did get computers, but it wasn't certainly till I was in school. And so it's always been something that's called to me. I've also found journaling something that's helped me through so much. If you know me, you know that I was kind of an anxious kid, had some sad times, rough times, and writing's always been very therapeutic. And so I wrote in the journals, and I actually have the journals in this room from most of my life. So it's something that I have continued. It helps me so much. It helps my clients so much. There's something so powerful in just putting words on a paper. So I've published 4 books now. 4 books, 3 in the past year. The first book I published was, I think, 4 years ago now. So that was Green Your Heart, Green Your World, Avoid Burnout, Save the World, and Love Your Life. And this is written from years of working in the nonprofit field and seeing people really working so much, so hard to make the world a better place, and often at their own expense, right? Some of them were really unhealthy and sad and just wanting to make a difference. And so I wrote a book about how you can, things that you can do to get just shifting the way that you're operating in life. I stopped myself from saying work-life balance because it's not so much about that, but it's more kind of alignment with how you're living. And so that was the first thing I did, totally on my own. Figured out the publishing process at that time. It was Create Space then that you do through Amazon. And then this past year, big call from my clients to turn what had been an email series of inspirational quotes and little sayings for each day into a book, right? And I found that I was writing what I needed to hear. And still, as I read this book, it's still things that I need to hear myself, right? And so this is Love Notes, Daily Wisdom for the Soul. Yes, I did paint the picture. I published this February 14th, Valentine's Day of this year. And so it's Daily Wisdom for the Soul. Little quotes and inspiration. Short and sweet, simple, and people have gotten a lot out of it, and I get a lot out of it when I look back at it. So this, again, was me publishing on my own, doing it that way. Divine inspiration struck, or something struck. I don't know what it was. During the course of 2020, as we were given the great pause, and I didn't really pause myself, in that I was working, taking care of many coaching clients. My teenagers were with me full time as opposed to half time as they normally are, because their dad works at a hospital, so the kids were staying with me full time. And I was also taking care of my grandma full time, which is not usually that we share it, but it was on me. So it was a pause, in that it was a stop and a total time to reflection on how you were doing things, how we were doing things. And in one day, I ended up having 3 conversations about a book collaboration. It was never something I planned on doing. And I posted on Facebook, what if this is happening to us? For us rather than to us, this great pause, right? What is the wisdom in this? What are the blessings that we're receiving? Because as I was talking to clients, I wasn't hearing necessarily the phrase like, I wish things would go back to normal, which would always, if I did hear it, I would cringe for some reason. But I was hearing a lot of people saying a lot of positive things, a lot of good things that were coming out, getting to spend time with family, actually getting to sleep, actually getting, like teachers, actually getting to use the bathroom when they needed to use the bathroom, like no joke, right? Basic needs being met, okay? Lots of different blessings were coming out of this time that was also a scary and different time, right? So what came out of that is this post is, we had 25 authors like almost immediately that wanted to be part of this book collaboration. And the stories are incredible, so different, and yet this unifying purpose of call to wisdom and blessings. So great pause, blessings and wisdom from COVID-19. And the people, I mean, honestly, for me, leading the collaboration, what was so incredible about this is it was hard. I mean, this time, I mean, we're still in the time, but in that initial time when it was all new and things were changing, we couldn't see anyone, right? Really anyone. Or I couldn't. I chose not to, because I was caring for my grandma who's 96. I want to keep us all as safe as possible, right? These stories from these blessing, beautiful authors helped me through this time, right? Reading their stories gave me inspiration too, right? And so coordinating this has been a huge blessing for me, because as I read the stories, it brings meaning to my life. I learn as well from all the authors. And as the authors read each other's stories, there's a real richness, right? A real strength, a real bonding that takes place. Because the collaborations we do at Greenheart are about transformation. They're about blessings. They're about wisdom. They're about making the world a more loving and peaceful place. People are sharing stuff that are scary to share, that are courageous. The unifying theme is people have gone through stuff. They've been through the ringer oftentimes. They've been through some tough stuff. And instead of letting that take them out or making them despair, they've used that as a catalyst to help other people. Whether it's through sharing their story, or whether it's through being a coach, or whether it's through being a healer or a teacher or a parent, right? So using this experience to help others, to ease the transformation for them, to ease the experience for others. That's what we're about with our collaborations, right? It's kind of laying that path for change and growth, right? So we also have Transformation 2020 that we did in collaboration with Ladies Power Lunch. And it's an anthology of transformational stories. 20 women share their stories. And let me tell you, when I read those stories, I had to go lay down. Like, I would read the story from someone and be like, I need to go rest and cry for a bit. Because some of them are intense, what people have been through. And brings so much joy because it's the depth, right? This is how people get, well, I think, that when we build that capacity for suffering or rough times, it also builds our capacity for joy. Oh, Melissa, I love what you wrote. So Melissa Molinaro, who has been part of our collaboration book, she says, being part of this collaboration was a godsend and true transformative experience for me and so many others. Thank you, God. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, world. I love you, Melissa. And her stories are just absolutely exquisite and inspiring. Thank you for being one of our writers and saying yes to all of it. When and I'm especially present right now to, I'd never published any books with other people before when I did The Great Pause, right? And this we just published like 3 months ago or something. We just did it. And I'm so present to how grateful I am to all the authors that were like, yes, let's do it, right? Because we were all learning during the process. And now I feel like I've been doing it forever because it seems so just natural for me to do this work and to involve the people that when I don't know something, I get someone who does, and we work together, right? That's the power with any kind of collaboration you do. You don't need to know everything and you don't need to do anything, but you need to recognize what you don't know and be willing to accept and find that, seek out the help or be open to see it when it presents itself, right? So I want to talk about the joy and power of book club. Oh, backing up, Transformation 2020, the paperback will be out the end of this month, and the ebook is available on Amazon. So you can grab it there, Kindle Direct Publishing. You can also pre-order the paperback through Greenheart Living, or a number of the authors are making it available through their websites as well, and they're all signed by the authors and lovely. So the joy and power of collaboration. So really the joy that I'm present to is, it's just fun. It's way more fun to write a book with other people, right? The people, especially the people we're playing with. So the people that are Greenheart folk, these are good people. These are people that have a sense of humor. They're spiritual. They are spiritual in like a fun, awesome, sparkly way, not in a judgy way. We tend to have very just aligned, lovely folks in our collaborations, and as my clients, that's who I get to hang out with in my work. And so it's a joyous process. Now, I have to tell you, I loved writing my first 2 books. It was not a joyous process. It felt hard. It felt important, but I didn't really access joy through those first 2 books. Now, the collaborations, though, this is just, it feels so fun to be connecting with the other authors. We do author readings live, on Facebook and on Zoom. We have a number of our collaborative partners. Authors have podcasts. So Ryan Hall has one. He has the Solar Powered podcast, and Davidson Hang at LinkedIn has his podcast. And a number of others have different avenues that they interview and share about each other. So we've all gotten to, use our voices and build connections for our businesses and also for ourselves. It's a lovely sense of community, and all over the place, right? Some people, yes, are in Connecticut. That's where I'm based, and so that's where a lot of my people are from. But we have an author in France and the Cayman Islands and California and New Jersey, right? So we have New York. We have people from all over the place that participate in the collaborations. So it's a joyful thing being part of the book collaborations. We get to celebrate with each other, and we all want to celebrate with each other. So sometimes people, I know, and I had to seek this out too, of finding a community of people that wanted to be joyful, that wanted to celebrate, that when I told them something, they could connect to that and be like, yes, that's awesome. They wanted me to do well, right? And so this is one way that you can access a group of people that are up to that sort of thing, right? So power in the book collaborations. So writing is very powerful. Writing itself is transformative. So when you start doing a book collaboration, or really any writing, you might think, I know the story I'm going to tell. This is how it's going to go, right? And you might have this all plotted out and planned out. Spoiler alert, it's not going to go that way. It will go the way it's so meant to. And you will find out things you didn't know about yourself, right? You might have surprises. You might have huge new awarenesses. It will be what it's meant to be. And you can get so much power and healing from your writing. All right. That's why I fill up the journals. That's why I write every single morning, right? It changes the way I interact with the world and how I feel internally and interact with others externally. Power of being part of a collaboration is evident in establishing your authority as an author, right? You get that, hey, I published a book. I'm an author now. It's a wonderful feeling, right? As someone who, my whole life I wanted to write. I didn't publish anything until I was like 36, I guess, right? Or 37? I don't know. Math, time. 38. I think it was 38. Anyway, it feels good to have a book. It's like there's something eternal about a book. I mean, it might not be, right? It is paper, but it's like I made a thing. I put it out there. I put the words on the page. It's vulnerable to do that. That's a part of legacy, right? It's a legacy builder getting to do that. It feels really good, and it establishes your authority as a professional, right? So as you write something, potential clients get to know you before they even meet you, right? When I meet people now that have read my books, they feel like they already know me in some way, right? I've also been on dates where the person has bought my book and read it before the first date and gone, I'm like, wow, if you can read my whole book and you still want to meet me, that's pretty good. So it just changes your life, right? It establishes authority, that sense of trust. People get to know you, right, before they even meet you. And it feels good being known. It feels good being accepted. So power with the collaborations. The wonderful thing with collaborations is we can all make money with the collaboration. And, we're a bunch of good-hearted folks doing good in the world. We want us to have money so we can do more good in the world, right? And so with the book collaborations, all the authors participating in it have the ability to get books at the cost that it takes to print them, right? They get that book at a low cost from Kindle Direct Publishing or whatever publisher we decide to use, whatever house we decide to use for that, whatever service. And then you can sell it at whatever price you want. You can combine it with other offers. You can have a coaching plus book, a little package that you do. You can do a class on the book, right? There's so many different revenue generating activities. And once you do it, you have it forever, right? I'm still getting money from my first book, right? It's still, you know, it shows, and what a cool thing to be like, boom, royalty, you get a little royalty in there in your bank account when you self-publish. And when you do a collaboration, you can always be getting orders from your website for the books. And it's like, oh, you can even get, right? It's such a cool thing to get a notice on your phone like, oh, I got $24, you know, for my book. Oh, somebody ordered. Like, it's just, boom, it's like love and joy and great feelings all over the place. Another cool thing that's available is that you can lead your own collaboration. So something that Greenheart is doing now is if you have an idea for a book collaboration, you can bring it to me and then we can partner together and make it real. So you might have the people, the idea, you might be a great coach and have or teacher and be able to lead, but you don't know the publishing stuff, nor do you really want to, right? You might not want to do the edits. You might not want to handle the book formatting or whatever. So Greenheart, me and my people, we can do that for you, right? We know how to do it. It's not hard for us anymore. We figured it out and we love it. So we can partner with you and make this a thing for you. And as a leader of a collaboration, you have different, not only are you then not paying to be part of the collaboration, you can actually generate money as being the convener of a collaboration, which is awesome. So, so there's lots of cool ways to do this. And what I love, and right now people are bringing me different ideas, different book collaborations, different projects to work on, and I'm saying yes to them, all of them. And anything, I won't say all of them, well, I have so far, because everything that's been brought to me feels very aligned with the Greenheart mission, which is to bring more love and peace into the world. So obviously I'm not going to publish things that are nasty or mean or cruel, right? I only publish things that are in this vein of, yeah, let's bring more love, let's bring more heart, right? Let's share our stories. Let's give people a place to speak their voice and share their truth and provide that light for people of a way out in the darkness, right? Let's be that person that we wish we had or did have in the past for others. So that's what we're up to. And we have a few different collaborations that we're enrolling for right now. So authors, we're accepting authors into. One is through Davidson Hang is convening a group of wonderful men that are leaders in the world. And the book is called Redefining Masculinity. And so all the men are contributing chapters of their thoughts, their experiences. I cannot wait to read those chapters. So if that calls to you, please reach out. It is on the Greenheart Living website, some information on that. Embrace your space. So I personally have gone through this, and I'm still doing it, of this whole decluttering and organizing project at my home. All right, this is a huge, epic project. As you may know, I moved in with my grandmother, my 96-year-old grandmother, last summer, and it's a lifetime. Well, maybe not a life. Well, there are things from before her lifetime in this house, right? There are things from the 1800s in this house, and there's some interesting treasures and scary stuff in this house that we are clearing through. And I'm partnering with Embrace Your Space Connecticut to do that, and we'll be partnering on a book collaboration as well, looking at decluttering and organizing our homes, our spaces, and not just our physical space. Because what that does when you go through that, it's your whole emotional space, your health, your physical well-being, your mental health. There's so much spiritual health. There's so much that goes into it. It's changing my relationships with my children and my family. And so we're going to get all into that, and any professionals or people that have done this in their personal life can contribute a chapter to this book as well. And I can't, for myself, I can't wait to read those because I know it will help me as I continue to go through this process and be sure I stick with the changes that we're making. Changing family legacy, right? Cutting cords on things. We also have the second Ladies Power Lunch Transformation Anthology that we are going to be doing. Will be published in March, and so we're enrolling them up until the end of the month, or till we have 25 authors. And most of the books are looking at like 20 to 25 authors. I don't want to go over 25. But you could always do a book collaboration with fewer authors. You don't need that many, right? If you have an idea of a book that you want to put together with 5 of your friends, or 10 people that's perfect, right? So you can be in touch with me. The cool thing is that when I get more ideas, that just means I get to hire more people to help support the Green Heart team and make it happen. So that means writing coaches, that means virtual assistants, that means helping with photography and design. So anything that you're doing is contributing to good folks doing good work in the world. And many of our collaborations will have a charitable component. So the Great Pause, all royalties that come through Amazon sales go to NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, and the Ladies Power Lunch, 50% of all royalties go to a Ladies Power Lunch fund for entrepreneurs in need that is being coordinated by the Main Street Community Foundation. So please reach out if you have any questions for me about book collaborations or writing project. I'd love to talk with you and explore the ideas that you have. You can find me at greenheartliving.com. Love you so much. Hope you have a wonderful day.